The top stories tonight in Y News. A policy analyst describes huge travel fund of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for 2024 as inappropriate. Senator Raffy Tulfo and Vice President Sara Duterte lead the survey charts as top contenders for the 2028 presidential elections. A lawmaker announces his intent to challenge the constitutionality of the 2024 national budget before the Supreme Court. And an Israeli drone strike in Beirut claims the life of Deputy Hamas Chief. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, January 3, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s travels in 2024 are expected to resume. A larger budget has been allocated for the president's travel expenses. According to a policy analyst, the larger budget allocated for the president's travels is deemed unreasonable. Nel Maribuhok reports.
The Marcos administration should be transparent in disclosing expenses from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s travel fund. According to policy analyst Attorney Michael Henry Yusinko, not only should the details of the president's expenses for each trip be known, but attention should also be given to the personalities accompanying the president on foreign trips. He argues that a larger budget for PBBM's travels is not appropriate.
It's not appropriate, and the reason why it is not appropriate is because it tells us, kung ganun kalaki yung budget, it tells us na yung magiging foreign trips ng Pangulo natin, magsasama na naman siya ng mga maraming tao na hindi naman dapat doon.
A budget amounting to 1.4 billion pesos has been allocated for President Marcos' domestic and international travels for 2024, higher than 893.87 million pesos travel funds requested by the Office of the President in 2023. Yusinko clarified that it is indeed the President's job to travel for the benefit of the Filipino people. He emphasized the need to ensure that the taxpayers' money is spent appropriately.
Ang pag-travel ng Pangulo natin overseas is part of his job. Responsibilidad niya yan bilang representative natin ng bansa natin sa international community. So it's in a way unavoidable for him to get invited or to attend international events as our representative.
The Malacanang and the Department of Budget and Management have already defended the substantial fund for the travel expenses of PBBM in the year 2024. They assert that in exchange, it includes commitments of investments from foreign investors that will subsequently generate employment opportunities for Filipinos. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The race for the 2028 presidential elections is already capturing the nation's attention. Leading the survey charts as top contenders are Senator Raffy Tulfo and Vice President Sara Duterte. Meanwhile, former President Rodrigo Duterte is contemplating a different role in the upcoming elections. According to a political strategist, he may opt to run for a senatorial seat, potentially secure a position in the House of Representatives, or even ascend to the role of House Speaker. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
In the latest era presidential survey conducted by Acquisition Apps Incorporated for 2028, Senator Raffy Tulfo and Vice President Sara Duterte emerge as the top two candidates if the election were to be held today. The survey, conducted through interviews with 2,000 respondents from November 2024-2023, revealed that 32% of Filipinos prefer Senator Tulfo for president, while 31% favor VP Duterte as their primary presidential choice. Vice President Duterte received high ratings among respondents from Mindanao, while Senator Tulfo was the choice of those in the 18 to 35 and 51 years old and above age groups. The survey also indicated that the controversy surrounding confidential funds might affect VP Duterte's share of potential voters. According to political analyst Ronald Llamas, many events may transpire before 2028 that could influence voter preference.
Kung susuriin mo yung mga surveys, mahalaga siya bilang adjustments sa iyong strategy kung ikaw ay may balak tumakbo, especially sa 2028 na medyo malayo pa. Almost 5 years pa, no? Medyo malayo pa 2028 pa. Kaya marami pang pwedeng mangyari.
Meanwhile, political strategist Malu Tequia suggested the possibility of former President Rodrigo Duterte running in the next election as a senator or alternatively as party list representative. She also mentioned the chance of him being elected as the House Speaker.
Ngayon, nagsabi, party list, ilagay natin dyan ang party list ni PRRD. Imagine mo yun, ha? Hindi ka gagastos. Makakakuha ka ng nationwide consistency probably near to his 2016 performance. Hindi
Anong maximum seat pag ganyan, ma'am? Hindi naman pwede 16 million na boto mo sa party list. Hindi pa tatlo lang.
Akala ko, 16 million madami.
Kaya ano, bigla ko nagpaisip sa Senado. Sige,
Pero
okay.
Mike, speaker, ang boto 16 million.
Pwede. Oo, yun nga.
Kaya ng pera na i-distribute sa mga legislators, boto nyo ako. Kaya sabi ko, maganda yung strategy yun.
This comes amid the ongoing investigation by the International Criminal Court or ICC into the anti-drug war of the former president. Tensions between the Duterte camp and House Speaker Martin Romualdez, a cousin of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., are also escalating. Tequia added that the emergence of the opposition is expected in 2024, especially as preparations are underway for the 2025 midterm national and local elections.
Titingnan natin kung paano magde-develop yung salitang budol. So, lahat ng anti-budol sasama sa oposisyon.
Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A petition is filed before the Regional Trial Court or RTC of Calbayog City in Samar. Attorney Ferdinand Perito, the petitioner, is urging the court to take measures preventing individuals associated with the International Criminal Court or ICC from entering the Philippines as investigators of the country's former president Rodrigo Duterte's drug war. Perito emphasizes in his plea that if ICC representatives are already present in the country, they should be closely guarded and prohibited from coordinating with local partners. Furthermore, he calls for their immediate deportation and designation as persona non grata should they be found to be in violation of these restrictions. Perito stressed the Philippines is a sovereign country with well-functioning branches of government. The core argument presented by Perito revolves around the notion of Philippine sovereignty, asserting that the country has well-functioning branches of government capable of addressing matters internally. This legal move reflects a belief that the investigation into President Duterte's drug war should be handled exclusively within the Philippines without external interference. Some have allegedly enjoyed peace during the time of President Duterte when the drug menace was stopped.
And for the news abroad, a Japan Airlines' Airbus A350 plane carrying 379 passengers collided with a small Japan Coast Guard aircraft in Tokyo's Haneda Airport. 5 out of 6 crew members of the smaller plane died from the incident. Joselito Liquido will tell us why live. Yes, Joselito, good evening.
Good evening, LC. 2 planes collided at Japan's Haneda Airport at around 6 p.m. on Tuesday, January 2, 2024. The fatal crash involved an Airbus A350 aircraft and a Japan Coast Guard plane. The MA-722, a Bombardier Dash 8 based in Haneda, was bound for Niigata to provide aid after the huge earthquake that struck Japan's western coast on Monday. Out of 6 crew members, only the captain survived with injuries, but all others died on board. The lone survivor, however, disclosed that they are not yet ready to provide an explanation on the cause of the accident. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida expressed his respect and gratitude to the fatalities, acknowledging their high sense of mission and responsibility. The other aircraft in the collision incident, a Japan Airlines Airbus A350, skidded down the runway and burst into flames on the airport. The plane's wing area later also caught fire. Fire crews later worked on putting out the blaze with streams of water. Unlike the smaller plane, all 379 passengers and crew on board the passenger planes were safely evacuated, according to the Japanese Transport Minister Tetsuo Saito. 14 people were reported hurt with non-life-threatening injuries. The passengers were seen leaving the aircraft through an emergency chute after a large eruption of fire and smoke from the Airbus A350's side. Director of Air Safety Paul Hayes at Ascend by Cirium, a United Kingdom-based aviation consultancy, commended the plane's crew for an excellent job when he noticed no evacuee appeared to be carrying hand luggage, which is always a safety warning during evacuation procedures. The fire burned for more than 6 hours and was only extinguished shortly after midnight. The aircraft can be seen as badly damaged through an explosive fireball. Aviation analysts state it is still very early to explain what happened. It is the first significant accident involving the twin-engine Airbus A350 since coming into service in 2015. Haneda was closed after the crash, but 3 runways were later opened. Some airlines reported delays and cancellation as a result. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquidor, reporting live from Malaysia. At the United Nations top court, South Africa launched a case accusing Israel of genocide. Mavian Dog details why live. Yes, Maeve?
LC South Africa's 84-page filing accuses Israel's military actions in Gaza as equal to genocide, with an argument that Israel has breached and continues to breach its obligations under the Genocide Convention. The filing further argues that Israel's actions, including killing Palestinians and bringing serious mental and bodily harm, show their genocidal intent to bring the destruction of a substantial part of the Palestinians in Gaza. It also argues that Israel should be ordered by the court to cease its hostilities in Gaza, offer compensation, as well as reconstruction of what it has destroyed in Gaza. The case was filed at the World Court on Friday last week, and South Africa's government lawyers are preparing for the case hearing on January 11 and 12, much to Israel's outrage. Israel showed its intent to fight the case as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu strongly rejected the allegations. He argued that Hamas is the one perpetrating the genocide, while the Israeli army continues to act morally. Meanwhile, the ICJ will schedule public hearings soon, and South Africa and Israel's lawyers can make their arguments. As for the preliminary measures, judges coming from around the world will most likely take days or weeks before issuing a decision. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Mavian Dog, reporting live from Australia.
A lawmaker wants to challenge the constitutionality of the Majority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel says he is now finalizing the arguments of the petition, and he is also in talks with a lawmaker in the House of Representatives who will join him in the filing. The senator will question the 450 billion peso hike in the unprogrammed funds and the president's move certifying the passage of the national budget as urgent.
Kung meron talagang available na pera, the proper way to do it is to enact a supplemental budget. The president must be the one requesting or initiating the budget process. Ang nangyari dito sa 450 billion, na over and above the President's requested amount, Congress na to. This is now originating from Congress.
Pimentel also warns that the lump sum funds under the unprogrammed appropriations can be used for pet projects of lawmakers.
For 2023, nakita ko yun na mayroong mga nakasingit po doon na kung tignan natin, mayroong isang Ilocos Norte, mayroong isang Tacloban, mayroong isang Albay, mga ganun. Yan yung delikado dyan. Merong sa unprogrammed appropriations, merong matasabi nating lump sums, meron din mga itemized. So dun sa mga nakalump na mga amounts, palakasan na yon kasi per request na yan eh.
In a statement, the Department of Budget and Management, or GBM, maintains that the unprogrammed appropriations are only standby funds and is not included in the approved government fiscal program. It also cites conditions in utilizing such fund should there be new or excess revenues, such as the submission of necessary documents from government agencies. The Budget Department assures that they will work within the approved fiscal program regardless of any petition or challenge against the national budget. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is under increasing pressure to address a significant matter involving the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board. The issue revolves around a plea for the LTFRB to exercise patience and await the Supreme Court's decision regarding a petition against the consolidation of public utility vehicle franchises. Dante Amento tells us why.
Attorney Nery Colmenares emphasized it is prudent for the government, through the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, to wait for the ruling of the Supreme Court. This is over the petitions pending before the High Tribunal filed by Piston and other commuter groups challenging the implementation of the franchise consolidation under the PUV modernization program. Colmenares further said that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. was misinformed about the consolidation rate of the PUV franchise.
The President kasi can claim na he was misinformed with a 70% consolidation rate. Kamukat-mukat niya 36 to 40% nga ngayong araw yung admission ng LTFRB. So he can say, isuspend muna natin yung cancellation ng prangkisa.
The cancellation of the PUV franchises would have allegedly a domino effect from the loss of jobs by some operators and drivers to transport disaster on the part of the commuters. Hence, it is proper for the Chief Executive to meddle by giving a statement to wait for the court to decide on the case at hand.
Sa kansilahin nyo ngayon, kung nanalo ang mga chopper at commuters sa Korte Suprema, hindi nyo na mabalik yung nakalipas. But the moment you implement the cancellation, irreparable injury yon kasi mawala ng livelihood, mawala ng masakyan ang mga commuters.
A legal remedy can still be brought to the Supreme Court to bar the government from implementing the consolidation process.
Yan ang isang posibleng i-file ng mga petitioner, a motion for a status quo ante-order, reiterating to the court na ibalik muna sa dati, no? Although sa ngayon, dahil wala pa namang cancellation na nangyayari, parang ayaw lang aminin ng LTFRB na TRO sila, technically.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A commuter group is voicing apprehensions about the potential impact of the government's Public Utility Vehicle, or PUV modernization program on regular commuters. According to the group, the program could lead to additional fare expenses, placing an extra burden on the shoulders of those who rely on public transportation daily. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The group Commuters of the Philippines is sounding the alarm about the potential consequences of the full implementation of the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, or PUVMP. The looming deadline of January 31 raises concerns, particularly for the traditional jeepneys that have long been considered the cheapest mode of transportation for the masses. with the possibility of unconsolidated jeepneys ceasing operations by the end of this month. The group envisions additional fare expenses for regular commuters.
Kesa isang minimum lang yung binayaran mo, nagiging 2, 3.
This fear stems from the belief that the removal of these traditional and affordable transportation options may impose an additional burden on commuters already grappling with the challenges of daily living expenses.
Pamasahe, mas mura din po siya kaysa may the aircon. Pagka kasi sa traditional jeep, magkano lang yung pamasahe dyan. Tapos pagka doon kami sa may the aircon, mas malaki yung dagdag.
Mas mahal sa modern na jeep kaysa sa traditional na jeep natin Kaya yung 45 pesos ko baka mag 60 na o 55. Pang-ulam na yun.
In response to these concerns, the government has announced plans to issue special permits to consolidated public utility jeepneys or PUJs as a precautionary measure to prevent a transport crisis. However, the fate of the traditional jeepneys remains uncertain, and the Supreme Court's potential issuance of a temporary restraining order against the PBBM adds another layer of unpredictability.
It's too early to say, no? Again, ang early predictions namin posible magkaroon. No? Ang inaasahan ng lahat pagtungtong ng January 1, magkakagulo ng lahat at wala na talagang traditional jeep.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In connection with the discontinuation of senior high school or SHS programs in state and local universities and colleges, Department of Education or DepEd Undersecretary Michael Poa says students may also enroll in private schools. Poa adds that in such case, students can also apply and avail the SHS program voucher. For the current school year 2023 to 2024, DepEd is no longer giving vouchers to grade 11 students who are enrolled in SUC and LUC. However, grade 12 learners still receive the said voucher for them to be able to finish their basic education. Earlier, Commission on Higher Education or CHED Chairman Prospero de Vera III explained that there is no legal basis to fund the SHS program in the state and local universities and colleges. De Vera clarifies that the SHS program will not be stopped completely. It will not just be offered in SUCs and LUCs, but students in grade 11 and 12 can still enroll in DepEd and private schools and universities. De Vera added that SUCs with laboratory schools will continue to have high school students, but enrollment will be limited to 750 students, according to CHED Memorandum Order Number 32, Series of 2015. The Philippine National Police is gearing up for Traslasyon on Tuesday, January 9th, deploying over 15,000 personnel. PNP Chief Police General Benjamin Acorda Jr. reveals plans for a no-fly zone and signal jamming during the event to ensure security. Leia Ilagan details why.
In preparation for Traslasyon 2024 on January 9th, the Philippine National Police led by PNP Chief Police General Benjamin Acorda Jr. stands ready with over 15,000 personnel to secure the procession.
We are anticipating also that kumbaga parang andun yung eagerness or medyo matagal na nawala. So the RD of NCRPO is requesting for additional forces. And we are considering that, and we will be getting augmentation from regions, other nearby regions.
General Acorda emphasizes security measures, including a no-fly zone and signal jamming in Manila.
It will be a no-flying zone, and then, of course, tayo, yung mga legitimate mga authorities will be allowed.
So yung signal jamming?
Yeah, kasama rin po sa contingencies.
The Chief PNP also appeals to devotees to refrain from wearing bull caps and advises against bringing umbrellas and bags.
Walang magdadala po ng mga botelya, yung mga babasagin because yan po ang nagkokos ng injuries pag nabasag. So dapat plastic lang.
The National Capital Region Police Office or NCRPO will maintain a full alert status until January 9. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, or PAOC, has expressed alarm over the report that from January to November of the previous year, 63 foreign Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGO workers were found dead in Central Luzon. The victims, according to the PAOC, fell prey to kidnapping for ransom, highlighting a disturbing trend that requires urgent attention and investigation.
Yes, ang komisyon po ay naalarma dito. Yung executive secretary, nung nalaman niya ito, ay nagpatawag agad siya ng meeting. At naipaabot na po natin sa presidente ito kasi nakakaalarma yung dami ng mga foreign nationals na namamatay.
Last December 28, a Chinese national was abducted by 5 assailants near the Double Dragon Plaza in the Mall of Asia area in Pasay City. The perpetrators demanded a ransom of 2.4 billion pesos from the victims' relatives, but the family failed to provide the requested amount. However, on December 31st, just before the year end, the Chinese national managed to escape his captors.
Pero kadalasan naman kasi, yung mga nabibiktima tatatagpuan doon sa Region 3 nanggagaling po sa Metro Manila. Karamihan po mga workers mula sa Parañaque at saka sa Pasay. Doon lamang sila tinatago sa Central Luzon, doon yung mga safe house, doon sila pinapatay, yung katawan doon tinatapon sa Pampanga. Napag-alaman namin na merong isang sindikato talaga o grupo ng mga sindikato na umiikot at nangingidnap ng mga POGO workers, no? So ang ating palasyo ay nagpaplano magbuo ng isang super task force na siyang titingin sa mga problemang may kinalaman sa POGO.
And in other global news, Israeli drone strikes in Beirut claimed the life of Deputy Hamas Chief Saleh al-Aruri, signaling a potential widening of the conflict between Hamas and Israel in the region. The targeted attack, which resulted in casualties during a Hamas meeting with Lebanese counterparts, remains unclaimed by Israel, raising concerns about the broader implications for regional stability. Joselito Liquido will tell us the details live. Yes, Joselito, please go ahead.
Good evening, LC. Israeli drone strikes in Beirut's southern suburbs killed Deputy Hamas Chief Saleh al-Aruri on Tuesday night, January 2nd, signaling a potential expansion of the conflict between Hamas and Israel in the region. The strike targeted a Hamas office during a meeting with Lebanon's Sunni Islamist Jamaah Islamiyah faction, resulting in 7 casualties, including 4 Palestinians and 3 Lebanese. Israel neither confirmed nor denied responsibility for the attack, with an advisor to the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stating that if Israel was involved, it was a surgical strike against the Hamas leadership. Aruri, a Hamas deputy head and Qassam Brigade's founder, had recently been in Lebanon and Qatar, where talks between Hamas and Israel took place. The United States had previously offered a $5 million reward for the information on Aruri. Hamas confirmed Aruri's killing alongside 2 other Hamas military leaders, denouncing it as a terrorist act and a violation of Lebanon's sovereignty. Islamic Jihad vowed revenge, while Iran and Yemen's Houthi movement expressed condemnation and condolences, respectively. In the Israeli-occupied West Bank, protesters called for retaliation. Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati condemned the strike as a new Israeli crime and sought a UN Security Council intervention. Hezbollah, controlling security in Beirut's southern suburb, promised a response, heightening concerns about a broader Israel-Hamas conflict. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquido. Thailand and China will enable visa-free entry for their citizens starting on March 3, 2024. Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin and China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Wang Wenbin made the announcement on Tuesday, January 2. The agreement aims to boost Thailand's tourism industry, as China is Thailand's major source of tourists, with nearly 11 million Chinese visitors out of 40 million in 2019. According to data from Thailand's Ministry of Tourism and Sports, the country's tourist visitors plummeted by more than 99% by 2021 due to the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, the Thai foreign minister will travel to China by early February to sign the agreement for mutual visa-free entry for both countries. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God, from the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 31. It says, "He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor." And those are the reasons behind the news, January 3, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Harleen Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
It's not appropriate. And the reason why it is not appropriate is because it tells us, kung ganun kalaki yung budget, it tells us na yung magiging foreign trips ng Pangulo natin, magsasama na naman siya ng mga maraming tao na hindi naman dapat doon. Ang pag-travel ng Pangulo natin overseas is part of his job. Responsibilidad niya yan bilang representative natin ng bansa natin sa international community. So it's in a way unavoidable for him to get invited or to attend international events as our representative.
Kung susuriin mo yung mga surveys, mahalaga siya bilang adjustments sa iyong strategy kung ikaw ay may balak tumakbo, especially sa 2028 na medyo malayo pa, almost 5 years pa, no? Medyo malayo pa 2028 pa kaya marami pang pwedeng mangyari.
Ngayon, nagsabi, party list, ilagay natin dyan ang party list ni PRRD. Imagine mo yun, ha? Hindi ka gagastos, makakakuha ka ng nationwide consistency probably near to his 2016 performance. Hindi
Anong maximum seat pag ganyan, ma'am? Hindi naman pwede 16 million na uboto mo sa party list. Hindi pa tapos nila.
Akala ko, pag 16 million, madami. 3
Kaya ano, bigla ko lang paisip sa Senado. Sige,
Pero
okay.
Mike, speaker, ang boto 16 million.
Pwede. Oo, yun nga.
Kaya ng pera na i-distribute sa mga legislators, iboto nyo ako. Kaya sabi ko, maganda yung strategy yun.
Kung meron talagang available na pera, the proper way to do it is to enact a supplemental budget. The President must be the one requesting or initiating the budget process. Ang nangyari dito sa 450 billion na over and above the President's requested amount, Congress na to. This is now originating from Congress.
The President kasi can claim na he was misinformed with a 70% consolidation rate. Kamukat-mukat niya 36 to 40% nga ngayong araw yung admission ng LTFRB. So he can say, isuspend muna natin yung cancellation ng prangkisa. Sa kansilahin nyo ngayon, kung nanalo ang mga chopper at commuters sa Korte Suprema, hindi nyo na mabalik yung nakalipas. But the moment you implement the cancellation, irreparable injury yon kasi mawala ng livelihood, mawala ng masakyan ang mga commuters.
Kesa isang minimum lang yung binayaran mo, nagiging 2, 3. It's too early to say, no? Again, ang early predictions namin, posible magkaroon. No? Ang inaasahan ng lahat, pagtungtong ng January 1, magkakandagulo ng lahat at wala na talagang traditional jeep.
Yes, ang komisyon po ay naalarma dito. Yung executive secretary, nung nalaman niya ito, ay nagpatawag agad siya ng meeting. At naipaabot na po natin sa presidente ito kasi nakaka-alarma yung dami ng mga foreign nationals na namamatay. Napag-alaman namin na mayroong isang sindikato talaga o grupo ng mga sindikato na umiikot at nangingidnap ng mga POGO workers, no? So ang ating palasyo ay nagpaplano magbuo ng isang super task force na siyang titingin sa mga problemang may kinalaman sa POGO.
We are anticipating also that kumbaga parang andun yung eagerness or medyo matagal na nawala. So the RD of NCRPO is requesting for additional forces. And we are considering that, and we will be getting augmentation from regions, other nearby regions. It will be an off-lying zone, and then, of course, tayo, yung mga legitimate mga authorities will be allowed.
Sir, yung signal jamming.
Yeah, kasama rin po sa contingencies. And walang magdadala po ng ng mga botelya, yung mga babasagin, because yan po ang nagkokos ng injuries pag nabasag. So, dapat plastic lang.